The Green Children are in the midst of finishing their first album. Their music is currently available to listen to via their website, which is www.thegreenchildren.com. That's all solid, thegreenchildren.com. Their first single, Dragons, will be available via iTunes in the beginning of April. And Milla Sunde and Tom Bevan, welcome to Mr. Media.
Hello there.
Hi, this must be... Oh, there you are. Hi.
Hi.
That's nice to speak to you. It's some very nice music. I was very pleasantly pleased when I heard the song. So congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the name of the group, the Green Children. Why?
We didn't really have much choice with that name. The name chose us. It just popped into our head one day as we were taking a hike through the forest, and it hasn't left us since. So we just thought we'd have to keep that one, and we thought it was quite fitting since we love nature and animals and all that kind of good stuff, and thought it was quite magical. And we did some research on the line to see if anyone else had taken that name, and this story or myth came popping up all the time about this legend of a boy and a girl that was found in the medieval times in England that looked just like us. Blonde hair and one boy with dark curly hair, and we just thought that was very interesting. I had a lot of correlations between us and the story of the boy and the girl. They kind of had like some magical things to them, and they were allergic to the sun, which I am. I'm actually allergic to the sun, and the boy was a little bit younger than the girl, and that's same with us too, and just lots of strange correlations that fitted. So we kept it. And
well, the whole mystical, magical thing has worked for Stevie Nicks for a long time. I guess it's time someone else gets some use out of it.
Yeah. That's who we are. We're the Green Children. I mean. We're two quirky Europeans, so that fits us well.
And Tom, how did you guys meet? Was it at school?
Yeah, we both went to a school in Liverpool. Actually, Paul McCartney set it up with another guy in his old school building, and we met actually in a songwriting class. It was a little funny story. Milla was late, which she can be sometimes, and everyone had partnered up with someone new to write a song, the first song we had to write, and I was left alone for some reason, so I was sitting in the corner wondering what to do, and then Milla stumbled through the door, and as destiny would have it, we wrote a song, and it was great, and we just kept writing songs ever since.
What... I think we're having a little trouble with a phone. I'm getting a lot of static. What is it that appeals to each of you about the other? That's a pretty big commitment, I think. You're essentially in business with one another. And you certainly approach it as a long-term commitment. How does that work between the two of you in terms of interpersonal relationships?
Yeah. Well, from the start, I realized very quickly that Tom and I, we see the world through the same eyes, and we react on everything. I mean, it's unbelievable. We have the same taste in everything, the same taste in music. We react to the same people, the same issues and causes. And
are you guys still there? Okay, we seem to have lost. We have lost the Green Children. Well, let's just give them a moment here and see if they call back in. I thought it was me. Well, this would be a good time to give out our phone number if you'd like to call them, if and when they call back. 646 646-595-3135 is our number here at Mr. Media World Headquarters in St. Petersburg, Florida. Give us a call. Get on the line, 646-595-3135. Hopefully the Green Children will be calling back in at any time. Maybe this would be a good time for me to play their other song, and we will give them a moment to call back. I think I was asking you. Yeah, I'm not sure what we lost. I was asking you guys about the relationship between the two of you in terms of making this long-term commitment to one another, in terms of being the Green Children and working together, and obviously spending a lot of time together.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I started out, just saying we see the world through the same eyes, and we've got very similar taste for everything, music and people that we meet and causes in the world. And on the music side, we have quite set roles right now, and it works really well. Tom's the producer and the musician, and I write a lot of the lyrics and the melody, and obviously the singer. That works really well for us, and we're great friends, and we've been great friends for 5 years now, and it just seems to get better. So and coming up with good stuff all the time.
And I have to ask, I'm not Hello Magazine or OK Magazine, but I have to ask, are you guys involved with each other, or are you strictly friends and business partners in this?
No, we're just friends. We get that question all the time, obviously. But no, we're just friends. I think any more than what we're doing right now would be too much. So we're gonna keep it that way.
Now you're in the studio right now, preparing an album. Is that what I understand?
Yeah, we're in the studio. We have like a little home studio where we start a lot of productions, but we're also in the studio with Brian Kennedy, who produced Rihanna's Disturbia and a lot of other big hits. So we're really happy to be working with him, and we're working on 2 or 3 songs, and yeah, just finishing everything up now, and we're really excited. We think the album's going to be great, and hopefully every song's going to be really good. So yeah, we're really excited about everything.
Well, I want to point out to people who may be thinking, okay, there's a lot of musical acts out there, and how do you pick one out of 100 to feature on a show? Well, the Green Children have a bit of a pedigree going here. They're with Universal Motown, which is the home these days, I think, to The Who and Elton John, Amy Winehouse, and Doug Morris, who people in the business know. I was actually the one who heard your music and said, I think we need to sign those people. Am I telling the story correctly? Yes,
that's correct. Yeah. And also, we want to give our fans and the people that buy music a record full of good songs, not just like, we're not going to be the band that has only a couple of good songs and then the rest is throwaways. We've worked many years for this, and we're making sure that every song is decent and that's really good songs, quality songs.
So yeah,
Is the general sound on the album, is it kind of a more mellow, mystical thing, or is there different?
It's gonna be a bit of everything, actually. Probably, I think the songs that you have are more kind of the mellow, atmospheric stuff, but we're gonna have some kind of like dance songs as well, and songs that can go in the club. So it's gonna be a real mix, which is what we like. We like so many different types of music, so we want to kind of have quite a diversity on there. It's all gonna have like a magical theme to it, and quite a lot of the songs are about experiences and legends and things that have touched us when as stories when we were kids and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a little of something for everyone.
Now I have a 12-year-old daughter who loves Rihanna's song Disturbia, and we've heard that a lot in the house. I'm kind of wondering, what did Brian Kennedy bring to the recording studio with you, and how, if at all, does he change your sound? Does he influence you? What's been the result of that partnership?
I think what we've been doing so far, we've been doing a lot of experimenting in the studio and just like trying out loads of ideas. Just because we're coming from quite different places. So that's what's really exciting is we bring our thing and he brings his thing, and hopefully it'll turn into something even, a fresh sound. So he's an amazing piano player, he's an amazing producer. So right now we've been experimenting a lot and we're putting together tracks. But yeah, he definitely has his own flavor, and it's really cool to put that together with what we do already. But yeah, so I guess you'll have to wait and see when the tracks are finished. It's always hard to describe music and describe the process. It's always easier to play it and let people see what they think.
Will there be any, considering the label that you're on, will there be anybody guesting on any of the songs?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
There's no real plans yet.
Yeah.
You never know, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's not something that we're really thinking about right now. We're just kind of concentrating on the songs. And, if the right person came along, it's definitely a possibility. But right now, we're not planning that.
Now, I mentioned in the introduction that the first single that you're releasing will be Dragons, and that'll be on iTunes, I guess, in April. Can you tell us anything about that song?
Yeah, that is going to be definitely a club record that is going to be quite dancey, up-tempo. It has a very, metaphorical lyrics to it, very fantasy-like, lots of, the production's going to be lots of good beats with, a little bit tribalist beats with strings and pads, and it's going to be really magical dance song. Yeah. So I'm quite excited about that. I think people will like it.
Yeah, and it was it just as a little background to what it was written actually in we rented when we were in England. We needed some inspiration, so we rented this old kind of 400-year-old cottage that was falling down, but it was incredibly inspiring. And we took a laptop and a keyboard, and that's where the song started. So it's quite fitting because it's a very kind of haunted house, and the song definitely has that kind of vibe. So that's where it started, and hopefully now it'll be a big single.
And the sound of the Green Children, is it just the two of you, or in the studio? Are there studio musicians playing, or do you normally have other players with you? How is all that set up?
It depends from song to song. I'd say there's a lot of us on there. I play lots of different instruments. Milla plays piano. So there's a lot of us, and then sometimes when, the song requires, we get a string player in, or a bassist or a drummer. So it's really a mix, really. If we do when we do bigger live concerts, we tend to have a band behind us, though. But we can play just the two of us too. So there's really no formula. A song kind of starts, and then if we hear a cello or we hear something like a harp, then we just see who we can get involved.
And is one of you more dominant than the other in creating either the sound or lyrics for the songs?
I would think it's really equal, actually. Obviously, Tom does a lot of the production, so that's a lot of work in that. So I would give him more credit for that. But other than that, when it comes to the song, it's definitely half and half. We often start out with Tom trying out some stuff on the guitar or the piano, and then he gives it to me, and then I'll go away and see what the song kind of speaks to me, or I'll see what lyrics that kind of fits to the song, and then we go back and forth a little bit, and and then we have the song. So yeah, it's definitely usually 50-50, and we'll change it up. Sometimes I'll start with the music, and sometimes he'll do the lyrics, but so far, it's kind of been mostly him doing the music and me doing the melody and the lyrics.
And in terms of starting, in terms of signing with Universal Motown, is there a good story that comes along with that? I mean, did it all go smoothly? Did you know that they were even thinking about you?
I mean, it's a good story in that it happened. These days, getting is quite difficult. So, especially when you come from overseas, Milla and I are both from small towns, where nobody's really doing much in the entertainment world. So, for us, it was a really big step. And it happened, I guess, like lots of bands. We worked on our songs, we worked on our demos, and then eventually we managed to get it into the hands of some people who mattered, and then we did some concerts and showcases, and we did like a kind of showcase for Universal, and yeah, they just seemed really enthusiastic and really embraced that we're doing something different. So it's amazing for us to have their support, and I think it gives us the chance to really reach out to a lot of people, and have a positive influence on the world. And it's our music's all about music with a mission. So they can help us with that.
And tell me this: when you found out that you were going to be signed to Universal Motown, who was the first person that each of you told?
I definitely called up my mom and my dad, that was really exciting for all of us. The whole family was very excited, they were a little bit scared me coming over here, from a little town in Norway, and they were kind of thinking I was out of my mind, but they've been supportive and, paying attention, and they were, they fell off their seats. They were quite, excited, so,
Yeah, it's the same for me. I guess, your parents are always the ones to buy you your first guitar or, support you in whichever way they can. Again, neither of our parents are musical in any way, so it takes a bit of a leap of faith for them to think we can make a living from doing music. So they were definitely the first people for me too. And then, just friends and family. Important to include them.
And whose career would each of you like to have if all this goes well? Who do you look at and say, that's the career I want? I want to be like that person or that group.
Wow. You know what? There's no group out there or artist out there at the moment that are anything like us. It's so different. So it would be wrong to say I'd want to have any other career than the one that we're going to create for ourselves right now. Because it's going to be very different than anything that's out there, and I think that the world is ready for that,
Okay. Tom, you going to go along with that, or do you want to add anything?
I'll agree with that. We have loads of influences. There's so many talented musicians that we've listened to growing up, and from everything from mainstream pop to underground music. But I actually like to want someone else's career or path. I think we're so determined to do our own thing that that doesn't really make sense for us. If that makes sense to you.
All right. Well, and then finally, before we wrap up, tell me about the Green Children Foundation. I mean, I read about this and I thought, isn't it a little early in your careers to be focusing on philanthropy? Philanthropy? I hate that word.
I always, as a young kid, I think I had a lot of compassion for both people and animals, and it's just been natural for me to want to help people, and I've always paid attention to foundations and been part of different things, and I just came across on the internet this story about this lady that had been lending money from something called microcredit, this lending system bank that was set up by a man called Muhammad Yunus in Bangladesh. And the story of her was so captivating that I was like, wow, I would love to give more opportunity to more of these women. And, we started researching into, this lending system, and we went to Bangladesh to see it with our own eyes. And, we just fell in love with it. And so it was such a great idea because it's giving small lends to women in poor countries so that they can build up businesses and help their children, get a better life and get education and fed and all that. And it just spiraled really. It's like once you've helped one person, it's like an addiction. You just want to help more and more because you just see how little it takes to help the people over there. So even if I didn't do music, this is my second passion, and I think Thomas, it's the same for him.
Yeah, I mean, the short story is once we'd visited these women, seen that they'd helped themselves out of poverty through their hard work and businesses, and that they'd got a future with more stability, we were inspired to write a song, and we made a music video in Bangladesh later that year. And coincidentally, the person we were working with won the Nobel Peace Prize later that year, so it was natural for us to sell the song and the DVD in stores across Norway, and that's kind of what started our first fundraising campaign with the foundation. And yeah, it is a little bit the other way around, but it just seemed to happen that way. So we spent a bit of time away from music in a way, working on those things, and now we've kind of come back to it, and it's nice to have done something, something that's helped a few people, hopefully.
Well, I gather that people can find out more about the foundation at your website, which is www.thegreenchildren.com. And I want to tell everybody that the Green Children's music is currently available, again, to listen to on that same website, thegreenchildren.com. And their first single, Dragons, will be available via iTunes in the beginning of April. Milla and Tom, I hope you'll consider coming back when the album is complete and ready to come out. And I want to thank you so much for joining us at Mr. Media, and wish you luck with your career.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was lovely talking to you.
Yeah, we really appreciate the support. Thank you.
My pleasure. Good luck to both of you.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. And for more music-related interviews, surf over to our main website, www.mrmedia.com. That's where you can listen to my earlier conversations with John Denver, Gene Simmons, Billy Bob Thornton, David Wild, Legs McNeil, and many more. Please think about writing an online review of Mr. Media, casting a vote for Mr. Media, or marking Mr. Media as one of your favorites. Whether you listen on Blog Talk Radio, MySpace, Pointer Online, Digital Journal, Bebo, High Five, Podcast Pickle, Vox, Folio, MediaFly, Podfeed.net, Blueberry, Zencast, or Odeo. In other words, folks, you can pretty much find Mr. Media anywhere you can turn on your computer. Subscribe to Mr. Media on iTunes, and you'll never miss a show. Just search Mr. Media Interviews from within iTunes and subscribe for free. You can also listen with a piece of string and a tin can in many locations. If you've got an idea for a guest, email me directly at bob@andelman.com. That's ANDELMAN. You can also follow me on Facebook or on Twitter, www.twitter.com/Andelman. Thanks so much for joining us today. Always appreciate when you give up a little piece of your day to spend it with us.